Motorsport Manager 2 is coming out in 2027, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is my wish list for this game. Now, first of all, you may not have heard of Motorsport Manager to begin with. That's because it came out in 2016, 10 years ago. So, yes, just to bring... Why, you may be asking, why only the second one now? Why not in the past? And the simple thing is there's been an argument between the developer and the publisher. Some of you who follow other games, this will be familiar to you. If you just follow the F1 game, then this won't be familiar to you. But basically, Sega had the rights to the PC game, and PlaySport Games, the developer, had the rights to them. They just made the mobile game. They've just been making mobile games, actually, in the time between the first and the second version. Now, I'll touch on those mobile games because they could have an influence on how this new game will perform, and I'm hoping it's going to be more like the PC version than the mobile games for Motorsport Manager 2. So, yes, basically, Sega until recently held the rights to Motorsport Manager on PC. They were not interested in making a second version of the game, and therefore, it took PlaySport Games are not big, they're tiny in comparison. They do not have, obviously it took them a long time to be able to raise the funds to then purchase the rights, which is why now they've only done that recently, which is now we've able to get into a second game which is coming out in 2027. There still needs to be a publisher, whether they decide to self-publish, whether or not they choose somebody else, but the fact they now have the rights, I think that suits with them. Who's going to publish the game, we don't know. For them, who knows? Will come. That's something to think about later down the line, really. For now, we need to think about what the game's going to have in it, and I'm going to start with the AI, because the AI need a massive overhaul. The racing on the original game and the mobile games has not been great. It's worse than, if you've seen F1 Manager, even that's not great compared to, driving yourself in the F1 games. That's a stand. Obviously, it's watching the AI, If you watch the AI on the F1 game, they're probably slightly better than the racing in F1 Manager. And then, of course, it comes down to Motorsport Manager's a little bit way behind that, and they need to bring that up. So that'd be definitely something they need to work on as well. The fact that the AI just don't really do much into it. I haven't got any footage from my own YouTube channel of the original Motorsport Manager. It's been that long. I haven't played the game for 7 years, so this is off memory of playing all those games over the years on mobile and the PC version too. So, the racing is only one half of this, obviously, because we are not driving as ourselves. We are only the manager. R&D HQ, I'm going to link these two together. So, the R&D side of things, I think, I don't want it to be as complex as it was on the mobile game, because it was linked to the I don't mind them being linked to the HQ, but the HQ on the mobile games was so complex, it was so complicated that I just got bored after 2 minutes, and especially the fact it's a mobile game. You're only supposed to be playing it for 5 minutes or something like that. So realistically, if I'm having to spend hours just trying to do, build a wall, I don't want to be spending 3 hours of my life just to end up putting a new coat of paint on the shed that will be the beginning thing. And again, I don't mind just working out of a shed at the beginning and then building it up, but it needs to look realistic, and there needs to be clear development patterns. There needs to be levels in the HQ. And one thing that I would love to see, and I think you guys would love to see too, on the HQ side of things, is to be able to design and build your own test track. This has been sorely lacking by any game as well. Recently introduced by Cities Skylines of all games. Again, a game that came out in 2015 has recently released that as well. And that's not even the fact that, bearing in mind with that game is technically dead because the developers have moved on to the second game. It's only because somebody else came out with this and developed it for that original game that actually got released. So, other than that, nobody else has actually ever produced. I mean, I suppose you can technically build your own track in Forza Horizon 6, but it's not the same as building your own and owning a track. And because all the tracks are generic, they're sort of based off the real life ones, but there's no licensing in Motorsport Manager, which is good and then bad at the same time. So obviously the bad thing is you're not playing with the official teams. You're never going to be playing with the likes of Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, etc., etc. But this does have this does have an advantage because you can introduce storylines, bribery. You can have your drivers having affairs, etc., etc. You can introduce all these dilemmas that you probably wouldn't be able to get away with if you had an official licensed game. So, and they had that in the original, and that was perfectly done in the original PC version of the game. You need to carry that across into the new PC game. They also had interviews, and one thing I'd love to see, not even F1 Manager had interviews, by the way, but I'd love to see some cutscenes. There needs to be a few more cutscenes as well. I'd love to be able to walk around in first person. You create yourself an own character and be able to walk around your HQ. And I'm talking that's probably going to be a bit too much for Motorsport Manager 2, to be honest. Be able to fully customize your HQ, like McLaren have done. Build your dream HQ layout, everything like you want. Spend, even if it meant spending hours, probably weeks at a time, building out your dream HQ. It would be so sick to be able to walk around the HQ as your own character. I mean, that would be sick. I don't quite think we're there yet in terms of Motorsport Manager, but one for the future, I think, definitely. And I hope every time we keep saying these things, we dream about this being. I'm hoping we are getting a bit closer to that day, because it will be quite cool, I think. As well, and an R&D, I mean, don't make it complex, as simple as that. I think there needs to be some simplicity, and then also, obviously, like you've seen in the current version of my team, and also in F1 Manager, you choose which car and driver you want to assign it to, and then obviously that produces its own thing as well. I'd also like to see some upgrades based on the personnel departments, managing that as well. That's not something I believe, if I remember rightly, we had the different personnel, like the engineers, the driver engineers, strategists, etc., etc. All these people definitely need to have their own set of contracts, dilemmas, etc., etc., that they bring with them. So that is definitely something else that needs to be managed. But this game does have, as well, this game does have a couple of things that do also good. It has regulation changes. You will vote on regulation changes. You will vote on the calendar, point systems, etc., etc. And they sort of kind of introduced that a little bit into F1 Manager, but also not quite. Yes. The other thing is, where it's a license, I know this is unlicensed, but there is something that can make it look like a licensed game, because this game has the Steam Workshop support. So modding and the F1 game have never got on. This is all stemming back, I'm not going to go over to the history, but it basically stems back to Codemasters, before they were bought out by EA, putting in lines of code basically into F1 2018 about F2 cars coming in, and then basically Codemasters getting upset when the modders found out about it and leaking it to the community, because of course then they came into 2019. By that point we already knew that F2 cars were coming in for about 6 months. Now that's Codemasters' fault, in my opinion, always has been, for sticking code in the current game. That's how they did it back then. Obviously I don't believe they're obviously, now they've got the resources of the EA, they don't do that anymore. But they've never, for years, they've never got on with the modders, modding community, and it's obviously provided problems over the years where there are limitations to modding with the F1 game. With Motorsport Manager, it is unlimited, and with the Steam Workshop, it is so easy to download a mod. Whereas with the F1 game, you've got to install, get each file manually, etc., etc. With Motorsport Manager, you just got to click a button in Steam Workshop and hit subscribe, and it's done. It installs itself, and that's it. And that's the power of modding. That has, all of a sudden, this is a game that's going to last for years. It's not a game that's going to be developed, and of course they will add to this, because in the end, compared to what they started with, they started out with a couple of seasons. They had junior formula as well, and they had promotion and relegation between the top 3 categories. They're not, I can't remember what, I think they're called Formula A, B and C, if I remember rightly. Don't quote me on that, but they had promotion and relegation as well, so obviously you could mod that in. But then also they had rights to Formula E and World Endurance Championship 2 in the game at the end. So we'll have to wait and see if those come in to the game or not. But yes, this is a very exciting game. This is going to give F127 a run for its money. I know that EA and Codemasters are planning the best F1 game ever, but this must now be the best F1 game ever. And I'm just not just of them saying, misquoting somebody. No, this has to be, this has to have everything. And I'm going to come back to F127 with some game ideas after the summer in September time. So stay tuned for those. But in terms of Motorsport Manager 2, let me know what you would like to see. If there's something that I haven't mentioned, then let me know in the comments below. But if you have enjoyed this video though, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel. You see plenty more Motorsport Manager 2 content as and when it come out. I'd just like to say a huge thank you spending 12-13 minutes of your time listening to my wish list for Motorsport Manager 2. I really do appreciate it. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.